now.
It's happening right now. We are in the middle of the first big commute under a new reality. A big section of eastbound I-696 shut down for the next 2 years.
Tonight, there's some trial and error going on behind the wheel as drivers figure out which route works best for them. It's officially here, the massive I-696 project we've been telling you about for weeks now.
Here we go. Let's go live to Sky 4 above the construction zone tonight, showing traffic flowing westbound but no longer eastbound on the Ruther Freeway. Shante Passmore driving the MDOT recommended detour, and that takes you down the Lodge, east on the Davison, and then up I-75.
Shante is live in the mobile newsroom with a look at how that's going, plus a look at how the closure is affecting major retailers and freight companies. Shante.
Hey guys, so since about the 4 o'clock hour, we've done the official detour route suggested by MDOT a couple of times, and the last time we did it, added about 10 more minutes. So normally probably take about 30 minutes if you weren't dealing with any traffic. We have seen some troubled spot areas right now. We are traveling southbound on the Lodge, and I think right now it's safe to say that that might have something to do with people not reading the signs or paying attention to the exits, especially for Davison Highway. It's a left exit ramp, and then of course when you're on the 8 trying to jump on 75 North, people are paying attention to see where they need to go. Mind you, when drivers heard about this project, other antennas also went off. As MDOT tells me, a lot of people will not be spared from this major project, and tonight we're learning how major retailers and companies responsible for getting packages to your door, how they're brainstorming for alternate routes.
Alternate routes, wasted fuel, and gridlock. All things Northville Trucking must consider now with the I-696 project in motion.
We have various commodities.
Okay.
So we've got anything from children's toys in here, fire extinguishers. We have a lot of inbound, outbound for UPS that we do.
Ground transportation is critical for moving goods, sometimes known as the last mile of shipping products to their final destination. The freight company tells Local 4 the projected detours will stifle their mobility.
You guys are used to major road construction projects.
Correct.
696 feels different.
Yes, it does.
How so?
The congestion. You have so many different freeways that are intersecting in that area.
As MDOT plainly tells it, no one will be spared.
That it's construction season, and while it is tough for drivers to go through, we all drive the same roads.
Even one of the world's largest online retailer will probably see bumper-to-bumper traffic on alternate routes.
And what we're able to do is adjust on the fly while providing real-time updates to make sure that those who are delivering on our behalf are able to get the packages to customers and do so while hitting our delivery promises.
Amazon tells us drivers use a GPS tool loaded with their delivery route. The company is also able to communicate with the driver in real time during deliveries. Meanwhile, the trucking company says it'll also rely heavily on its dispatchers to get around the 10-mile stretch of closure.
And we can even help them, as you said, with some of the traffic delays, routing. We can see where they are.
The scramble to get products to people's front doors and businesses is in overdrive.
And here's something else. Frost law. Have you heard of it? Well, the freight company we just heard from said that as the warm weather hits, especially in the springtime, certain roads have a lower weight restriction. So the question tonight, will some of those alternate routes be trucker friendly? And meanwhile, Pamela Osborne is taking another route, an alternate route herself. She's on 12 Mile Road. And Pamela,
Shante, we are on 12 Mile Road. We're headed westbound. We're actually approaching I-75, both the northbound and southbound entry ramps here. And honestly, it's been pretty smooth sailing. We've seen some additional traffic on the roadway as the evening commute kind of comes and goes and people start to head home. But really, we haven't encountered very many problems out here on the roadway. If anything, the only thing that's been slowing us down is we've made this trip back and forth a few different times now. are the traffic lights. So that's one thing to take into consideration if you are going to be trying to use some of these mile roads, which they recommend you do not do, by the way, because there's some work that's going to be happening on 12-mile road as well as 10-mile road. So those roads already seen a lot of traffic. They can't really support that additional traffic from some of this roundabout stuff due to the 696 closure. So that is the very latest where we are right now as we take a live look at traffic. Again, flowing pretty smoothly right here on 12-mile road, just at I-75 North.
Okay, Pamela, thank you. Let's turn now to Darnell Blackburn with a check of any trouble spots forming tonight. Darnell, that little stretch of the Davison isn't used to seeing this much action. Any issues there yet?
No issues that I saw. No accidents to talk about, Kimberly. Things are moving good. Just heavier traffic volumes like we expected. So you see the closure here. We've been talking about that for a while. Here's the alternate route that MDOT suggests: southbound M10 eastbound Davison, northbound I-75, back to I-696 eastbound. Some people are using that route. Then the 12-mile route we'll talk about in a minute as well. But this is another alternate route that you can take: southbound M10 to eastbound 8 Mile to northbound I-75, back to eastbound I-696. So 8 Mile is used to heavier traffic volumes. I did suggest 12 Mile earlier, but with that work coming on 12 Mile, you may want to avoid that. It is an easy exit, but it's something that you need to think about. So there's a couple of things that happen. Typically, I like to talk about, just being a law enforcement officer, some of the things that people should look out for, guys, as they are out and about and driving. When we get heavier traffic volume, some of the things I'd like to tell people is don't engage. You have people that may be aggressively driving, and I like to say it like this: when your pride goes up, your common sense goes down.
So
and
true.
that happens so much. So if somebody's driving aggressively, don't make eye contact with them.
Yeah.
Don't engage in conversations. Don't give them. Don't tell them they're number one in a special way. Yes, right. Don't do it, because it's really not worth the headache, the hassle, and the danger that it could bring. So I like to just make sure people are mindful of those things.
Some wisdom right there. And as a police officer, of course, you saw construction projects like this one in the past. Did this change your approach, and did you see people acting differently in these construction zones? I think we know the answer to this.
Yeah, they're very aggressive. I mean, people, we've been talking about this for a while, but people still are impatient. And again, the biggest thing is to make sure that you give yourself extra time, give yourself extra space between the cars as they're traveling. And again, don't engage somebody who's being aggressive.
Don't block back.
It's not. Don't block back. Don't bark. Don't do anything. Just keep going. And if you see something where people are being too aggressive or they're being dangerous, call 911.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Giving yourself the extra time, I think that's the biggest thing. Maybe even double the time until you can get it all down pat.
Absolutely.
So, thank you, Darnell.
Yeah, thank you. Scan the QR code at the bottom of your screen right there to go to our special section on our website on this I-696 closure. We're going to be updating that, of course, daily. That includes a list of which ramps will be closed during this 2-year project and a full timeline. And we're going to have extended coverage tomorrow on Local 4 Plus for the morning commute, with I-696 being closed. So we'll be tracking the detours live all morning long. So when you wake up, turn on Local 4 Plus.